Hi there, I'm Archie, and today I'm going to do a couple of pages in my Creators book again. It's been a long time, so let's get started. So, today is going to be a little different than I usually do with these videos. I'm not going to be drawing in a particular order this time. I'm just going to pick a couple of pages that I feel like drawing. So let's get into that. As you can see, these pages I already did in my first and second Creators book videos. And I did this page off camera one time because I was feeling like doing a page for my Creators book. And it was a create a comparison, use colors you love on the left page, so I used blue, green and purple. Well, hello Newt. This is one of my cats and he thinks it's really interesting that I'm filming with my new setup, and he likes to say hi apparently. Well, thank you. So, and on this page I had to use colors I didn't like, and as you can see I drew Pikachu, Jolteon, because I don't like the color yellow. But I do like the characters here, but I just don't like the color. Then I had to create a merge, choose two animals and merge them together. As you can see, I chose a fox and a rabbit, and on this page I merged them. Create integration, integrate this line. It was this line if I remember correctly. Integrate this line into a design or drawing, and I made a Mondrian painting. I think it looks pretty good. So, if I was going to go in order in my book, I would start with create a puzzle right now. But I'm not really feeling like doing that page, so I decided to do this page. Create a list of favorites. Choose any category, places, movies, food, etc. Make a list of all your favorites. I can choose my own category, and I want to make my favorite books, because right now I really love to read. And I read really much the last couple of months, so I thought it would be nice to show all the books that I love right now. So, let's get into that. And yes, you can see my cat again, because he needs attention very badly. Because Creators book is made with thin pages, I can't really use all kinds of materials that I would like. So normally I draw with alcohol markers, but because the pages are really thin I actually can't. So I decided to draw on a piece of printer paper first and then paste it into the Creators book. So let's get started. So, I started out by drawing the outline of the book covers. I decided to make them 4 by 6 centimeters. I planned to make my top 5 books, but thought it would become kind of repetitive for you, so I stuck with my top 3. The first cover that I drew is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I'll give you a brief synopsis because I know you're not here to hear me rave about books. So, the synopsis for this book goes as follows. In the year 2044, reality is an ugly place. The only time teenage Wade Watts really feels alive is when he's jacked into the virtual utopia known as the Oasis. Wade devoted his life to studying the puzzles hidden within this world's digital confines, puzzles that are based on their creator's obsession with the pop culture of decades past, and that promise massive power and fortune to whoever can unlock them. But when Wade stumbles upon the first clue, he finds himself beset by players willing to kill to take his ultimate prize. The race is on, and if Wade's going to survive, he'll have to win and confront the real world he's always been so desperate to escape. I really love this book actually. I read it a couple of days ago and finished it in about 3 days. I loved it so much that I picked up the second book, Ready Player 2, right after I was done with the first one. Ready Player 2 is actually out for about a week or 3, I guess. So it's fairly new. I saw the movie for the first book first, and I can say that it's not at all like the source material, but it's still a really good watch, so I recommend the movie to do if that's more your speed. As my second book, I chose Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. This is a sequel to Six of Crows. Because it's a sequel, I can't say too much about this book because then I'll be giving you some spoilers and I don't want to do that. I do love Six of Crows too, but I think Crooked Kingdom is just a little bit better. I'll give you a brief synopsis of the first book for this one. Rotterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price, and no one knows that better than criminal prodigy Cass Brecker. Cass is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wrath, a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Cass's crew is the only thing that might stand between the world and destruction, if they don't kill each other first. I love these books more than I anticipated when I picked them up, and I'm really glad that I read them. Netflix is supposed to make a series about these and other books by Lee Bardugo, which are better known as the Grishaverse. I really recommend you check them out. As you can see, I wrote the title of this book with a white gel pen, and I think it really pops. I'm really glad with that decision. The final book that I'll be talking about today is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Story by Fredrik Backman. He's a Swedish author and I think he is amazing. He might be my favorite author of all time, but Stephen King and J.K. Rowling as well, of course. I'll give you a brief synopsis of this book as well. Elsa is 7 years old and different. Her grandmother is 77 years old and crazy, standing on the balcony firing paintball guns at men who want to talk about Jesus crazy. She is also Elsa's best and only friend. At night, Elsa takes refuge in her grandmother's stories in the land of almost awake and the kingdom of Miamas, where everybody is different and nobody needs to be normal. When Elsa's grandmother dies and leaves behind a series of letters apologizing to people she has wronged, Elsa's greatest adventure begins. Her grandmother's letters lead her to an apartment building full of drunks, monsters, attack dogs, and totally ordinary old crones, but also to the truth about fairy tales and kingdoms and a grandmother like no other. I actually cried my eyes out while reading this book, and I think it's absolutely amazing. It truly holds a special place in my heart. I also recommend this book and all of the other books that Fredrik Backman wrote, to be honest. But I can tell that I'm rambling. I cut out these book covers and glued them in my Create book. I wrote the title and author next to it, but I see that I made a mistake and misspelled Fredrik Backman, but that's okay, I suppose. I thought the pages looked a little plain, so I decided to create the effect that these books are standing on some type of bookshelf, and I think it looks kind of cute. For the other page I ended up drawing a bookcase with some books and other stuff on top of it. Because of the fact that the paper is very thin in this book, like I mentioned earlier, I only had limited resources and decided to use my colored pencils. I love the idea of a rainbow effect in the order of the books, and I outlined them later with my fine liner. The next page I wanted to do today is create shine, figure out a way to make this page shiny. So I wanted to create something that resembled this as close as possible, so I ended up drawing a Niffler from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This is a creature that loves shiny things, just like me. I drew him holding some coins and then surrounded him with diamonds, rings and gems. But I still thought the other page next to it looked kind of plain, and so I drew a golden snitch from Harry Potter. To create the actual shine, I used some metallic Posca paint markers. I don't really have much to say about this drawing, so you can listen to some music and enjoy this little time lapse. I drew the wings from the golden snitch with Ecoline brush pens to create the effect of real feathers. It was a really tedious job, to be honest, but I kind of liked the effect that it gave, so I ended up doing it for the feathers of the Niffler as well. And that was it. I'm sorry for the really long video. It took a lot longer than I anticipated. I'm a little rusty these days. I've read a lot the last couple of months. I'm so sorry about that, because this video is kind of surrounding that. COVID has really taken a toll on my drawing. I just don't really feel like it anymore, so these drawings are by no means my best, but I really wanted to create something again. So I really hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope to see you next time. Bye!